be a master of Pokémon. Do you have the skills to be number one? I want to take the ultimate step, find the courage to be bold, to risk it all and not forget the lessons that I hold.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 112 of the Pokemon Snapshot. How are you doing tonight, Josh?
I'm good, Jeff. It's my birthday weekend.
It is. Your birthday's in 2 days.
Yep, 2 days from when we record this, March the 3rd.
Yes, it will be. You will be older when this comes out because we are recording a little earlier than anticipated.
Mm-hmm. I will officially be in my late 30s, so I'll be 36.
You're an old man.
I know, and still younger than you, and always will be.
You always will be younger than you, but based on our lifestyle choices, you may die before me.
Look,
I'm just kidding.
you can't talk about my debilitating Taco Bell addiction. It's taken at least a solid 30 years off. I'm lucky to make it to 36. Well, I haven't made it there yet. There's still 2
You
days
haven't made it 2 days.
to find out, yeah. My heart could crap out. In all honesty, like, if I got to choose the way I would die, it would be on my birthday, like Shakespeare.
What have you been up to? I know you've been on spring break, and lucky you, well, I guess unlucky you, the day of your birthday is the Sunday dread of having to go back to work after having the week off.
No, the day of my birthday is the Monday we come back from spring break. But guess what, Jeff?
Oh, yeah, it is
I took
Saturday.
that day off.
You took that day off. Okay.
And the following Monday is Chelsea's birthday, and I also took that day off.
Well, there you go.
So, yeah, no, it's been good. Yesterday, Friday, or the Friday before my birthday, I played golf during the day with some of my friends, and then I went to a concert. Or I went out to eat, and then I went to a concert that night, so it was
Okay.
awesome.
I probably am just going to guess. I have no idea the people you went and saw.
No, you don't. It's some hippie jam band nonsense that I like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fun. At least you have a better week than I have because I don't get the week off. I worked, and I'm hoping it doesn't affect my
Sucker.
voice. I'm hoping it doesn't affect my voice, but I am getting sick again. But this time it is not a stomach flu. It is a throat allergies. So get this, Josh. Google will now, like, it'll say tomorrow's going to be 4 degrees colder than today. You know, when it's talking about it'll send me like a notification around
Right.
sometime in the evening. It's never the same time. I don't know why Google does this for me, but it does. I believe it was Thursday night. Google
Right.
goes, tomorrow will be 31 degrees colder than today.
Dude, Michigan and Alabama must have some kind of bipolar weather thing because Alabama's the same. Like, it was 80 degrees one day last week, I think. It was like 80 degrees, and then the next day it snowed.
Yeah, it snowed. I woke up this morning and there was snow on my deck. Not a lot, just a dusting. But it's all gone now because it got warmer during the day, and then it's supposed to rise up. We're supposed to get high 60s later this week. It's just crazy being this time of year. I
Yeah.
just want the cold weather to go away and the warm weather, and want to be able to sit on my deck. Though I think it's something that we have a new puppy, and this new puppy decided deck furniture. It doesn't like our decor. So it has
No.
destroyed 2 cushions to our deck chairs. When she's left outside, she just gets bored because, fun fact, guys, if you ever get a puppy, puppies are actually part beaver and just chew everything.
Everything. And part
It ha-
Diglett, and they just dig in the yard
Yeah.
too.
Luckily, she has not done a lot of digging, but just chewing everything. There's so many things in my house that just have bite marks from her.
That's puppies, man. That's a pretty big dog too that you have.
Yeah,
Or
yeah,
puppy.
yeah.
It's a big old puppy.
Yeah, so she's only 5 months old. She's going
That'll
to be a
be
big
fun.
puppy. Yep.
Yeah.
She has the energy. She's mellowing out a little bit, but still there are lots of time where she gets put in crate timeout. But luckily she doesn't mind her crate. She doesn't like going there when she's in trouble because she wants to be where we are.
Yep.
But
I bathed my dogs today, and I'm like 0 for 7 with dogs that like water. None of my dogs like water, but I had bathed a couple of them, and then Betty, who's like one of the bigger dogs, she's also an idiot. I was like, okay, who wants to go next? And she like jumped up on me, jumped up and got super excited. I was like, okay, Betty, come on. Cause where we bathe them is upstairs. And she takes off and she runs upstairs and she goes immediately to the bathroom, which she normally goes to like the room I'm in now instead of straight to the bathroom, but she goes straight to the bathroom, I guess because she knew I had been in there. She like looks around, sees the towels and like sees that stuff is kind of wet, like in the shower, realizes what's about to happen and tries to Grandpa Simpson and turn around and leave and run right back out. And I was like, oh no, you've made a fatal mistake. And then she passed away as soon as the water touched her. She's back alive now though.
My old dog, Natsu,
Mhm.
he knew it was
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Yeah, my buddy. He knew it was bath time whenever you took his collar off of him. As soon as you took the collar off, yeah, as soon as you took the collar off of him, he tried to hide. Like, nope. Though Stormy, our current dog, does need a bath, and I think we're gonna try tomorrow giving her one outside because right now we to keep her in the bathtub, we have like that spray peanut butter you put inside a con toy,
Right. Yeah.
and we just put it on the side of the bathtub.
Yeah.
So she'll stay in it. But we're gonna try outside 'cause it's supposed to be warmer, and she needs one because with her getting into everything, she had bubbles spilled all over her
Nice. All her
yesterday.
hairs matted together. Yeah.
So she needs that. Luckily, she's short haired.
Mm.
But yeah, that's kind of all I've been doing this week is wrangling a dog.
That's every day of my life, Jeff.
All right, so going on to Pokemon news, we had one bit of big Pokemon news. I believe if I look at it, this is actually going to be out by the time this episode airs, but it has not been out by the time we're recording this because we're recording 2 episodes this week, and is that Pokemon Champions is coming out April 8th. So yeah, so
So
Pokemon
what is Pokemon Champions? I don't know anything
so
about it.
so Pokemon Champions is a free-to-play game. It's like Pokemon Stadium. You're gonna get to battle Pokemon.
Okay.
It's free to play, but you will have you can purchase a starter pack, which lets you have 50 extra Pokemon in your storage box. The song from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, 30 teammate tickets and 50 trainer tickets. Have no idea what those are because they haven't explained them yet.
Mm.
But how you get Pokemon and Pokemon Champions is, first of all, you can transfer Pokemon from Pokemon Home, which Pokemon Home is like the storage system where you can transfer all your Pokemon between games. I paid for like the $3 tier once so I could transfer my Dratini from Pokemon Go to, I think it was Pokemon Sword and Shield. And then I paid for that $3, messed around with it for a month and quit because it's a monthly subscription.
Right.
I think if there is a free tier and you get like 20 Pokemon you can have in there, which if you're big into Pokemon, that's not a lot. If you're big into like transferring your Pokemon,
Yeah,
I am not.
they tell you got to catch them all, but then they only give you space for 20.
Yep. And so, but if you do not have Pokemon Home and don't want to pay for it, you can recruit 1 Pokemon a day to your team and they'll stay with you for 7 days. It's a random Pokemon. You don't know which Pokemon you're going to recruit.
And you only get to keep it for 7 days.
Yeah. But eventually you can use victory points to permanently recruit a Pokemon. You can also use victory points to change a Pokemon's moves or adjust its abilities, its nature, its stat points, and even more. I don't know. I'm going to look into it, but I feel like this is going to be more for the hardcore battle people who...
Yeah.
Because they did announce this will be at the Pokemon World Championships in August, this game. So I'm seeing if there's anything worth it. April 8th, it's only on Switch right now, or I think regular Switch too, not just the Switch 2.
So both of the Switches?
I believe so.
Okay.
And then it'll be coming out later this year on mobile devices. But yeah, that's Pokemon Champions. I will try it out to tell you guys what I think, but if you can't get very far without paying anything, then I probably won't get very far. I'm weird. Do you ever pay for mobile games?
No, I don't play mobile games. Apparently it's like the biggest part of the gaming industry are mobile games, but like I don't know a lot of people that just sit around and play games on their phone.
No, like even some of the games you can get, it's like my phone is for other things. So I would just get annoyed if my gaming was stopped because someone was calling my phone or that.
Is it like a Zoomer thing or a Gen Alpha thing? Like, is it the kids that are doing it, or is
No,
it old people?
I think it's old people.
God, they they ruin everything, and I'm now officially old, so
And
I've
don't
got
get me
I've got a
wrong,
few years of young left.
I will, if a game that you have to pay for something seems fun, seems like something I'll be into, I'll pay for a little bit. For example, I paid for the first 6 months of Marvel Snap, and I put in a ton of hours into that game. Paid 6 months worth of its $10 battle pass, $60. That's a game's worth, and I got a game's worth out of it.
Yeah, there you go.
So that was fun. Same with the Pokemon trading card game, TCG Online. Pay or pocket card or whatever it's called. I paid for a few months of that, had fun, and then I realized I was wasting money because I just wasn't interested anymore, and I quit my subscription.
There you go.
That's how I do. And then very rarely, I've done it a couple times, not very often. It's like pay 99 cents for more moves, and I realize I'm just playing with those random mobile games, and I'm like, I can win in one more move. I'm going to throw my 99 cents out here. But that doesn't happen very
It
often.
adds up.
Yep, I don't do that very often. All right, and then the next bit of Pokemon news, and I'm going to share my screen here for those of you watching on YouTube, is that Pokemon and Puma are starting a collab this summer. So I'm going to try to describe these, or Josh can as well, to the people listening that aren't watching the YouTube. So the first is like, is that a soccer jersey?
I don't know. I am not the pinnacle of fashion, so I don't even. I mean, it looks like a shirt. I would call this a shirt.
I think it's a soccer jersey because it has the number 0197 on the front. You have your Puma logo, the Pokemon logo. Then on the arms, you can see Umbreon, which is number 197 in the Pokedex.
I was wondering
Go.
why the Umbreon, but that makes sense, I guess.
And then going on, there's a set of like jogger pants. So there's a nice jacket.
Yeah.
I kind of really like this jacket. It again is just black and gold, as the Puma logo and the Pokemon logo. I don't know if there's anything on the back of it. There's also a hoodie. There's a yellow hoodie with that says Pokemon has the Puma logo. There's t-shirts. I saw a Pikachu one, but in our video, there's a Mimikyu one. Did you know a Mimikyu, Josh?
I've seen it, but I didn't know its name.
Yeah, that is a Mimikyu. Do you know? So we'll do a really quick who's that Pokemon? Mimikyu is here because it looks like Pikachu, because it's like lore is that it just wants a friend, so it dresses up as the most popular Pokemon.
Oh, that's really sad.
It's a ghost type.
Yeah. It does look like Pikachu. I wouldn't have even noticed that if you hadn't have said.
Yep.
Now I'm sad, Jeff. Thank you.
Yeah, I think they also say no one knows what an actual Mimikyu looks like because they're all
Interesting.
dressed as Pikachu.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
there's a nice little hat that has a Puma logo and Pokemon. If I wore hats, that's a nice hat.
You'll never catch me in a flat bill cap. Sorry.
Just the other
Or
sweatshirts, that one
or
has
maybe you're welcome. I'm sorry, or you're welcome. I guess it
this
depends.
one has Umbreon on the back. There's a backpack. That's a nice backpack.
That is a cool looking backpack. I agree.
It's probably more expensive than I would want to spend on a backpack. And then there's like a pencil case that has like Pikachu and Umbreon
Oh,
on it.
I thought it was a laptop case.
Oh, that could be it too. I don't know. I thought it was a pencil case, dude. The kids use pencil cases anymore.
The kids don't even know what a pencil is. The kids don't know anything, Jeff. The kids are cooked. As the kids say.
That is our um Pokemon collab with Puma. I love all these Pokemon collabs. Pokemon is becoming almost like it's a media franchise, but it's becoming, a while ago they had those very fancy shirts of Pokemon. They were like dress up button shirts. They were also like $100, but um Crocs. I have a pair of Pokemon Crocs. I bought
Oh
the
yeah,
Gengar.
does it have the little whatever button things
Yeah,
those are?
it's purple and black. It says Pokemon bag has the little Gengar. I think they're called giblets
Mm,
that go in the holes.
yeah,
So it has Gengar on them. It had a few others, but I lost one of them. It fell on my shoe and it lit up, and I'm kind of sad.
that is sad.
37-year-old me is mad that my shoes don't light up anymore. But yeah, Pokemon's doing a lot of cool collabs, so hopefully we'll see more, especially with the 30th anniversary coming up.
Right.
All right, we're going to go into the question of the week. We only had one answer, and the reason is that we are recording this episode before the episode that this question of the week comes from even comes out. Because of our recording schedule, we wanted to we wanted to put a couple up, so it gives Josh, because fun fact, 2 episodes after this is the movie, and so it gives Josh some extra time to do the movie, or he's just going to do it all the
But
night
I
before.
guarantee you it's all going to get done the night before.
No matter how much I text him that he needs to get this done.
No, it's good that you keep pressure on me. It just means that it will get done. It'll get done like 10 minutes before we record.
Yeah. If you guys ask Josh, it's never me just texting him, you need to do this. It's me just kind of throwing softballs that what we're talking about.
Yeah. It'll be like, oh, what do you think about this for the question of the week? And I'm like, Jeff, I haven't even watched the episode. I don't know I don't even know what this pertains to.
All right, but so the question of the week from the last episode, and we did put this in our Discord, and so that people could maybe answer it. Have you ever been stuck with someone you normally wouldn't choose to spend time with, only to end up getting along better than you expected? And we did have one answer from Kate, which was, I made friends with one of the cashiers at my local grocery store. She is not the fastest worker, which I used to get frustrated with. She's now someone I look forward to talking with every week. All right, going on. So, because of our recording schedule, there is no comments, there is no education, because she has not watched the last episode yet at the time of this recording.
Sad.
So that just means we'll get a big education coming up in the next couple episodes. So don't forget, you can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Snapshot, or send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We post short clips on both platforms, and if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, Josh, lead us into our next segment.
Previously on Pokemon.
All right, so last time, Team Ash were fresh off earning another Orange League badge when Team Rocket lured them into one of the dumbest traps imaginable with a suspicious fruit basket in the middle of the road, kidnapped Pikachu, and somehow managed to turn the whole situation into an accidental buddy comedy by chaining Meowth to Pikachu just in time for a giant Pidgeot to snatch them away. What followed was a survival story as Pikachu and Meowth bickered, got chased by a massive Rhydon, discovered that Thunderbolt does in fact not work on ground types, pulled off some unexpected teamwork, and even shared an apple in one of the sweetest moments the show has ever given us. While Ash hurled himself around the island like a man possessed, trying to find his best buddy before everything ended in a big reunion, another Team Rocket blastoff, and Meow sadly realizing Pikachu is honestly way nicer than the people he works with.
The whole time you were reading that, because that's a perfect description of the last episode, I'm like, how did anyone think this was going to be a good episode? Well, I feel like it could have been a better episode. The execution was just all off. Such a boring episode.
Yeah, they could have done so much better, but this week we can give you a hint that is way better.
Oh yeah.
And so going into this week's episode, we are watching the episode Charizard Chills, or as in was known in Japanese, Charizard, I choose you. It aired on July 2nd, 1999 in Japan, and on September 2nd, 2000 in the United States. And before I go into the top movie and song and all that, Josh, do you notice anything about when this episode aired compared to our previous episodes?
Should I?
Yes. So I'm sorry, I'm going to put a spoiler here for people because it fits better talk about it here than at the end of the episode when this happens. But also, this show is almost 30 years old. This episode aired 2 weeks before the last episode we watched because Kids WB aired them out of order. Why this makes sense is what happens at the end of this episode makes no sense when the next episode that aired was Misty meets her match, because in that episode, Charizard messes everything up.
Okay, yeah.
So just some foreshadowing here that it all gets messed up in the United States. Japan, it worked fine, but the United States screwed everything up.
Boy, have we.
And then the world news, the number one movie that week was Bring It On, which we said was the number two, like the next week, which makes sense because it was
They brought it, and then they
they
took over
brought
number
it.
one.
Yep. The number one song was Doesn't Really Matter by Janet, and who we know is Janet Jackson now.
Mm-hmm. That was some education.
And then some video games that came out this week. August 28th, Mario Tennis for the Nintendo 64 came out. So August 28th, 2000 was the birth of Waluigi.
Really
Yep.
interesting. Awesome.
Well, at least for the United States. I'm assuming it came out before in Japan. But yes, Mario Tennis was the first game Waluigi appeared in, which is timely because the newest Mario Tennis game just came out last month, and it gave us baby Waluigi, which we've never
Aw.
seen before.
You know what that implies about Waluigi, right?
I don't even want to
What's
think about
he
that.
been doing? What have you been doing, Waluigi?
Not going to spoil my new soundboard, but this would work perfectly. Okay, so sorry, you guys will just have to listen later. August 30th, also the Spider-Man game for PlayStation 1, N64, and Game Boy Color came out. All right, Josh, let's get into this week's episode.
This is Charizard Chills. As the episode begins, Ash is admiring his new badge when some douche on a boat nearly runs over Team Ash on their Lapras.
I'm just going to ask, do we need another water safety PSA?
Oh, we for sure do.
All right, people, when you drive a boat, pay attention to the people in the water. I'm pretty sure, aren't there you're not supposed to drive a certain distance from someone, right? Aren't there rules like that? I don't know.
Probably, but I don't think the Boat Douche really cares. That's why
Probably not.
his name for the rest of this episode is going to be Boat Douche, even though they give us his name. Misty tries to make the guy apologize to Togepi.
Sorry, Josh, I'm going to have to stop you again because I just wanted to bring up Misty is all worried about Togepi when Lapras was going to end up like how they used to get rid of beached whales who have died. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Where they blew them up?
Yeah, which I found out actually from an article in 2016, they say that is still the most humane way to do it.
To fill them with C4?
Like a beached whale. But I think they do it safer than what they did. So why this really became part of pop culture or whatever is it was in Oregon in the 1970s. A beached whale ended up, I think it was a blue whale or a beluga, like one of the really big ones ended up on an Oregon coastline. So they came up with the brilliant idea, hey, let's blow this thing up. That'll get rid of it.
They still had a stockpile of bombs and stuff from World War II that were these are getting kind of old. We need to figure out something to do with these. Hey, you mean beach whales in Oregon?
And so they decided to get rid of this whale by blowing it up, not thinking of the repercussions where it did thousands of damage by blubber just raining down on the town. It destroyed cars and buildings and everything.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
The Boat Douche tells Misty she needs to smile more so she doesn't look like a Tentacruel, but Misty takes this as a compliment. They argue over whether Tentacruel are cute or not, and it's kind of like when you see some scraggly-looking dogs that look like the Crypt Keeper from Tales of the Crypt, and their owner's always like, oh, you're so pretty. Look at you, little angel baby. Even though they look like dead rats.
Yeah, and that's how I feel about certain dog breeds, such as the hairless dog.
Mm-hmm.
Those things are ugly.
Ugh.
Or Chinese crested dogs. Have you seen those?
I think I know what you're talking about. I don't off the top of my head.
Yeah. People think those things are cute, but they are hideous.
Well, people always think their kids are cute too, but I don't know about that. I've seen too many kids eat their own boogers to find any children cute anymore. So I said this a little bit earlier, but side note, I will be referring to the Boat Douche as Boat Douche for the remainder of the episode. Somehow his real name, which is Tad, is douchier than being called the Boat Douche. But since I called him Boat Douche first, that's what he's stuck with. And this is a podcast. We can't go back and edit it. Boat Douche recognizes Ash from his win at the Trovita gym. And I'm sure that's not going to go straight to Ash's head. But what's coming straight at your head is the title card.
Charizard Chills!
So he makes a big deal about Ash, like, you beat the Trovita gym, but don't a lot of people beat the gym leaders? Isn't that how this economy works?
Yeah, yeah, for sure. But did he not?
I don't
Did
know.
he?
I just don't know why hearing about Ash beating the gym leader is so special.
I don't know, because it's convenient for the story. Boat Douche explains that he's trying to become a Pokemon master himself and that he was impressed by Ash's win because it was pure power. To which Misty says that's what you use when you don't have any skill in the most condescending voice I have ever heard. I love when she talks down to Ash. It's my favorite. Boat Douche challenges Ash to a Pokemon battle, which Ash obviously accepts. Boat Douche skirts his boat to a nearby island, which seems pretty, suspicious, right? It's like you need to be very wary of dudes trying to take you to an island, especially in this time period. On a nearby cliff, Team Rocket spots Team Ash on the Boat Douche's boat, on the douche boat. Now on the shore, Ash and the Boat Douche begin their battle. The Boat Douche sends out a dope-looking Poliwrath that's all black and has like a WWE heavyweight championship belt, and I can feel in my bones that Ash is about to get poly wrecked. I'm not sure how Poliwrath is normally rated as far as Pokemon, but I think Poliwrath rules. Poliwrath's probably like a top 10 Pokemon for me.
I am a fan of Poliwrath. I think it's a cool design, especially coming from Poliwag and Poliwhirl.
Mm-hmm.
I do not like Poliwhirl's other evolution, Politoed, which we will learn about eventually because it becomes one of our heroes gets one. It is interesting to note that this Poliwrath probably won the P1 Grand Prix, which Ash won way back before you even joined the podcast, Josh.
Yeah, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, so there was an episode, it was called The Punchy Pokemons, because Ash caught a Primate. Primate didn't listen to it.
Mm-hmm.
They meet a Hitmonchan, and this guy's like, well, he's training for the P1 Grand Prix, which was a fighting Pokemon only battle. They fought in a boxing ring. I do want to point out, and I believe we pointed out in that episode, that Brock enters his Geodude, which I'm like, that's not a fighting Pokemon. Plus,
it does use its fist, though.
It does, but Geodude is also a rock type, which is weak to fighting type. So that wasn't a smart idea,
That was
Brock.
dumb. Well, the way you explained it, I'm glad I missed that episode. I'm glad I came in later.
Well, Ash's Primeape wins the P1 Grand Prix, gets the belt, and then the guy, I can't remember his name, was like, oh, I'll train your Primeape. And Ash was like, cool. And then the guy just steals Primeape.
Yeah, I'll train your Primeape and I will keep it. Misty rightly wonders why the Boat Douche would use a water type against an electric type Pokemon, since Ash sends out Pikachu. But when Poliwrath duplicates itself using Double Team, Ash realizes this is going to be a tougher fight than he expected. When Pikachu finally reaches the real Poliwrath, and I don't know how else to describe this, but Pikachu puts its bare butthole right on Poliwrath and farts electricity all over the Poliwrath. Would you say that's an accurate description, Jeff?
That's an accurate description. Yeah, that's what he does.
Poliwrath uses hypnosis to knock Pikachu out and then immediately hits it with water gun, finishing Pikachu off. Jeff, can we get some sound of Poliwrath's water gun sounds, please?
Poliwrath. Pikachu.
It's a little low in the mix, but it basically sounds like that's the best I could do. In a move of desperation, Ash throws out his secret weapon, Charizard, and the crowd goes mild. Misty and Notbrock are like, bro, this again?
Yeah, we just ran into this issue earlier when Ash challenged the gym.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't the definition of insanity doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results?
I think in this case, it's the definition of stupidity. And we're gonna we're gonna see something similar with Charizard here pretty soon. And I'm gonna make a point here in a few minutes.
Okay, well, Boat Douche even mentions how Charizard isn't trained, so word has gotten out.
Yeah. Charizard immediately proves it was a bad choice by burning Ash and then throwing a huge fit when Ash tries to tell it what to do. And honestly, if I belonged to an idiot like Ash, I'd probably be upset as well. Also, they just trashed the Boat Douche for using the wrong type, and now Ash is doing the same thing by using a fire type against a water type. Like, bro, we just went over this.
So you're talking about the kid who lucks out most of his battles. I actually cannot wait because it will come that we are going to get competent Ash.
I can't wait. Poliwrath hits Charizard in the face with Water Gun, so Charizard lands to face his challenger. It uses Flamethrower multiple times, but it's not effective. So right here, Charizard is just repeatedly flamethrowing Poliwrath, and nothing is happening. Very similar to Ash doing the same thing over and over again, trying to see if it's going to work. So part of me thinks, and you can correct me if I'm wrong or if I'm off base, but I think Charizard's kind of stupid too. Because
Well, if you
Charizard does a bunch of dumb stuff, and this is what I've noticed about myself. Like, I get along with most people, but the people that I do seem to have the most tension with are the people that I have the most in common with. So, isn't it possible that the reason Charizard kind of doesn't really get along with Ash is because they're both really stupid?
Yeah, and I mean, we've seen it in other episodes too.
Mhm.
When I'm in an episode, do you remember the short Pikachu's vacation before the first movie?
Vaguely, yeah.
Charizard gets its head stuck in a pipe.
I don't remember that, so but Charizard is dumb.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think both of them are just kinda dumb. In addition to using the same attack, Charizard doesn't listen to Ash at all.
Yeah. Well, during this point, even Pikachu tries to step in and tell Charizard that he needs to quit acting like Ash and actually listen to people.
When Poliwrath casts Ice Beam, it completely encloses Charizard in ice, nearly killing it. Dude, Poliwrath's moveset is also killer, in addition to looking cool. The Boat Douche adds insult to injury by saying they can have a rematch once Ash actually trains his Pokemon, which, while fair, is definitely not something I'd say after nearly offing someone else's Pokemon. It's like, come on, Boat Douche, let's try to have a little couth next time. The douche needs to have some couth. Team Rocket spies from a nearby cliff, and even they're surprised Ash lost. They vow once again to steal Ash's Pokemon.
I don't get this. They've been following him this whole time and they are surprised he lost.
I know. I think it's just because he always beats them because somehow they're dumber than he is. I don't know. But either way, Jeff, that takes us right into our next section, which is
Who's that Pokemon?
All right. And our Who's That Pokemon for this week is an actual Pokemon from the episode because we haven't done him yet, and that is Charizard, who is known as Lizardon in Japanese. All right, I'm going to share my screen once we get to this part because I put pictures of Charizard's other forms because Charizard has a Mega I form, a Mega X form, and a Gigantamax form. So, Josh, I want you to look at those different forms that are down here before
while
we
I'm
go
looking,
talk.
Jeff, did you play the sound? Like their cry or whatever?
I did not. So, we have Charizard. We have Mega X and Mega Y.
Those were like inverted.
Yeah. All right. So we have Mega. This is his Mega Y or his Mega X form.
Which is the second one? The one that's
This-
labeled 5? Yeah,
That's
one.
Mega Y.
I wonder if they took a little bit of design from the dragons in Game of Thrones because the little like things on its upper arms, like that's on one of the main dragons in Game of Thrones,
But when did Game of Thrones come out? Because
like
this is
2009
okay. So this would have been, I don't know when X and Y came out, but it would
or
have been probably around
2011. I don't know.
around the same time.
It started around then. Yeah.
And then we have its Gigantamax form.
Wow, that's terrifying.
All right, then going on, Charizard is number 6 in the Pokedex. It is a fire and flying type for its original form and its Mega Y form, but its Mega X form is a fire and dragon type.
Mm.
They are all 5'7" tall.
They're 2 inches shorter than I am. That's not very intimidating.
And then for their weight, the original Charizard is 199.5 pounds. Mega X is 243.6 pounds, and Mega Y is 221.6 pounds. And they are known as the Flame Pokemon. And as I said, it Mega evolves in a Mega Charizard X with Charizardite X, and Mega evolves in a Mega Charizard Y with Charizardite Y. And it is also able to Gigantamax. All right, so what is Charizard's origin? Its name. The name Charizard is a combination of char, meaning to burn or scorch something, and lizard, a reptile tying into its dragon like appearance. Together, the name literally suggests a fire breathing lizard or a creature that scorches with intense heat. While Charizard is not officially a dragon type in its original form, its name clearly leans into classic Western dragon imagery, which is often depicted as reptilian and fire breathing. Its Japanese name, Charizard's Japanese name is Lizardon, which combines lizard, directly referencing its reptilian form, and don, a common suffix in Japanese media used to imply something large, powerful, or imposing.
I think Charizard is a way cooler name.
Yeah, Lizardon is kind of cool too, I think, at least. The suffix don can also evoke a sense of dominance or strength, often used for large creatures or kaiju like beings. What is Charizard based off of? Its primary inspiration is Western dragons. Charizard most closely resembles a classic European Western dragon. The large winged reptilian body, the ability to breathe fire, a long tail with a flame instead of a spade tip, and powerful airborne predator. Western dragons are typically depicted as destructive fire wielding creatures, exactly the role Charizard fills in the Pokemon world. Even though it is a dragon type in its base form, its design is unmistakably dragon inspired. And then it has the mythical logical influence of salamanders. In medieval European folklore, salamanders were believed to be creatures that lived in fire and were immune to flames. This likely influenced Charizard's constant tail flame, its ability to exist comfortably in extreme heat, and the idea that its life force is tied to fire. The flame burning out is often associated with danger. All right, Charizard's biology. Charizard is a draconic bipedal Pokemon with a predominantly orange body and a cream colored underside that runs from its chest to the tip of its tail. It has a long neck, small blue eyes, slightly raised nostrils, and two horn like structures extending from the back of its rectangular head. Even with its mouth closed, two fangs from its upper jaw remain visible. Large wings with blue green undersides extend from its back, each featuring a single visible wing finger through the membrane and a horn like protrusion at the third joint. Its arms are relatively short and slender compared to its broad torso, while each limb ends in three white claws. Its legs are sturdy and plantigrade, with cream colored soles. At the end of its long, tapering tail burns a steady flame which can intensify and even turn blue when Charizard becomes angered.
You're gonna forget the night after 3 White Claws, Jeff.
I hate White Claw. I've tried it
Eh,
before.
I'd never drink a White Claw.
Charizard roams the skies in search of strong opponents, and its flames grow hotter as it gains experience. Its fiery breath is powerful enough to melt boulders and glaciers and has been known to accidentally ignite forest fires. Despite this destructive capability, Charizard will not use its full power against weaker foes, as doing so is seen as a sign of weakness. Its wings can carry it to altitudes of at least 4,600 feet or 1,400 meters, though some sources suggest it can fly even higher. While its tail flame is vital, Charizard has been shown to withstand extreme conditions, including swimming underwater without its flame being extinguished. It typically inhabits mountains and valleys such as the Charisific Valley, but can also be found in volcanic regions where it may even rest with lava. Confident in its strength, Charizard often sleeps in a relaxed posture, sometimes even on its back, a sign of exceptional power.
It's how my it's how my dogs sleep, just on their back, just laid out.
Though it could not originally learn the move Fly, Charizard has long been depicted carrying people through the air, including in early artwork in the animated series. Beginning with Pokemon Yellow, it officially gained the ability to learn Fly and has since become closely associated with aerial travel. In Alola, it serves as a ride Pokemon known as Charizard Glide, helping people traverse the region or deliver goods. Charizard has three alternate forms: Mega Charizard X, Mega Charizard Y, and Gigantamax Charizard. Both Mega Evolutions share several traits, including a shorter snout, vertical slit pupils, and a bright underside extending to the lower jaw. As Mega Charizard X, its body becomes more muscular and its coloration shifts dramatically to black with a sky blue underside and soles. Blue tip spikes curd from its shoulders, its horns sharpen and take on a blue hue, and its eyes turn red. Additional fin like spikes appear along its head and neck, and its wings lose their visible wing fingers, instead forming rounded, segmented edges. It breathes blue flames from the side of its mouth, and the flame on its tail burns blue at all times. This transformation reflects the immense eternal power generated by Mega Evolution, resulting in hotter, more intense flames. As Mega Charizard Y, its body becomes sleeker and more streamlined while retaining its original orange coloration. It develops 3 horns on the back of its head, with its center horn being the longest. Yes, I have a dirty mind. Sorry. Its snout becomes more pronounced with larger fangs and a rigid nose. Its torso lengthens, its neck shortens, and its legs become more digitigrade. Its arms are less defined with short and fused fingers, and small wings appear on its wrists. Its primary wings grow larger, lose their central wing fingers, and take on a more ragged shape. Its tail develops additional spikes, and its flames burn longer and more intensely. Mega Charizard Y excels in flight, capable of reaching extreme altitudes with speed and maneuverability said to surpass that of a jet fighter. Its power is closely tied to its bond with its trainer. As Gigantamax Charizard, its form becomes even more imposing. Its underside turns white, marked with a diamond pattern in yellow, while similar markings appear on its legs. Its claws grow larger, and it adopts a more digitigrade stance. Its eyes gain yellow sclera, and its teeth become more pronounced, with several visible even when its mouth is closed. The flame on its tail expands dramatically, spreading along the tail and forming the base for the 3 cloud-like rings associated with the Dynamax phenomenon. Flames also emit from its horn, and its wings transform into massive constructs of pure fire outlined in blazing energy. Empowered by Gigantamax energy, the fire within Charizard burns hotter than 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit, increasing further when it roars. When it uses its signature move G-Max Wildfire, it launches the enormous flaming wings in the shape of a bird, which circles its opponents and continuously scorches them with heat even greater than molten lava. Going on to Pokedex entries. Red and Blue says spits fire that is hot enough to melt boulders, known to cause forest fires unintentionally. Well, if it did it intentionally, then it'd just be an arsonist.
Yeah.
A Pokemon Yellow says when expelling a blast of super hot fire, the red flame at the tip of its tail burns more intensely. Pokemon Stadium says its fiery breath reaches incredible temperatures. It can quickly melt glaciers weighing 10,000 tons.
I wish it had that same energy every time it burned Ash.
I know.
This just get rid just be done with him, Charizard. You could do us all such a great favor.
Pokemon Silver says, breathing intense hot flames, it can melt almost anything. Its breath inflicts terrible pain on enemies. Obviously, didn't affect Ash.
Yeah. He's impervious to Charizard's flames.
Pokemon Gold says, if Charizard becomes furious, the flame at the tip of its tail flares up in a whitish blue color. Pokemon Crystal says it uses its wings to fly high. The temperature of its fire increases as it gains experience in battle. Ruby and Sapphire says Charizard flies around the sky in search of powerful opponents. It breathes fire of such great heat that it melts anything. However, it never turns its fiery breath on any opponent weaker than itself.
I can appreciate that. At least Charizard has a code.
Which, interesting enough, means doesn't think Ash is weaker than it. Pokemon Fire Red says its wings can carry this Pokemon close to an altitude of 4,600 feet. It blows out fire at very high temperatures. And then we have one for each of the Mega evolutions. So for Mega X from Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, it says the overwhelming power that fills its entire body causes it to turn black and creates intense blue flames. And then Mega Y says its bond with its trainer is the source of its power. It boasts speed and maneuverability greater than that of a jet fighter. And then we have a couple from Pokemon Sword and Shield for the Gigantamax version. Pokemon Sword says this colossal flame winged figure of a Charizard was brought about by Gigantamax energy. Thank you.
Yeah, great. Okay.
And then
Appreciate that.
Pokemon Shield says the flame inside its body burns hotter than 3,600 degrees Fahrenheit. When Charizard roars, that temperature climbs even higher. And then a little bit of trivia on Charizard. Charizard was the inspiration for the naming of Chilicola Charizard, a species of stem nesting bees. The discoverer, Spencer K. Monckton, was inspired to name the species after Charizard thanks to its mountainous habitat and the orange coloration found in the first specimen he observed.
Sounds like some nerd stuff to me.
I kind of left this in here, but this is not true anymore. Charizard and Mewtwo are the only Pokemon with 2 Mega Evolved forms, because with Pokemon Legends ZA, we have now had a different Lucario and a different Garchomp Mega form. So things have changed since I last put this together. And then the last bit of trivia in the Pokemon of the Year poll held by the Pokemon Company in 2020, Charizard was voted the most popular Generation 1 Pokemon, receiving 93,968 votes. It was also the fourth most popular Pokemon overall.
Who do you know off the top of your head who the other three or the three before it were?
The number one Pokemon overall was Greninja.
Okay. Greninja's cool. I'm okay with that.
Number 2 was Lucario.
Lucario is also cool. Okay.
Number 3 was Mimikyu that you
The
just learned about
the one that
today.
I just learned about?
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
And then Charizard was number 4, and it's the most popular Kanto. The most popular Johto was Umbreon.
Okay, at least all the nerds brigading these polls at least have decent taste in Pokemon.
Yeah, so that is the Pokemon of the Year competition. All right, and that is our Who's That Pokemon segment on Charizard.
Who's that Pokemon?
That evening, while sitting around a campfire, Ash and Pikachu nurse Charizard back to health by rubbing Charizard. Ash rubs him so much that his hands start to blister from the friction and heat. Charizard throws a temper tantrum when it wakes up and realizes it's Ash that's rubbing him and not some pretty lady Charizards. But Ash just keeps on rubbing. Ash continues rubbing throughout the night, but even though Charizard seems to be feeling better, it's still feeling a little under the weather. Not Brock brings Misty some cocoa, which seems like an odd beverage to be having right now. Like, it's already you're already hot and sweaty from all the rubbing going on. And I assume this is hot cocoa because why would anyone be drinking cold cocoa? Cold cocoa is a no-no.
I like cold cocoa, and places serve
I'm not
cold
sure I can be
cocoa.
on this podcast with you anymore, Jeff.
I'm sorry. This is kind of a tangent, but kind of funny story. Remember the coffee shop? Well, yeah, you remember the coffee shop in Garden City, Kansas. You lived above it.
I lived right above it.
So this was before, iced coffee was popular, but it wasn't as popular like getting everything iced. And so I wanted hot chocolate. Well, I guess not hot chocolate. I wanted what you would call a hot chocolate, but it was too hot and I wanted it cold. So I went and, now you go any place, you can order an iced hot chocolate, I went to our local coffee shop and I asked for an iced hot chocolate, and the barista looked at me. She goes, "You mean like a chocolate milk?" And I'm like,
That's exactly the response anyone that asks for an ice hot chocolate should get. Do you want a yoo-hoo, you child?
but yeah, since you brought this up, the Japanese version actually never brings up the drink. So I guess originally was just supposed to be water, which is a perfectly normal thing to carry around in a canteen and not hot cocoa.
Right. It's
Because
like
he pours.
they get lost in the desert portion of the island and they're like, "Not Brock, do you have anything to spare, any water to spare?" He's like, "Oh no, I have cold cocoa." That's my not Brock voice.
That I've been carrying around in this canteen this whole time.
Later that night, Ash starts pillow talking Charizard about how he wants them to work together as a team. And then there is a brief montage of Ash and Charizard's history together. It does not include any more rubbing footage. But Jeff, can you give us a brief rundown of what we see?
Before I give this rundown, I do want to say, in my notes, I put when Charizard was like laying down and everything, and Ash was doing all the rubbing.
So much rubbing. An uncomfortable amount of rubbing.
I put in my notes, we're going to get a montage now, aren't we? And lo and behold, we got a montage. So yeah, so what we see during this montage is we see Charmander getting caught and released by its previous trainer and evolving into Charmeleon, and then Charizard. We get to see progression of Charizard's time with Ash and how he actually deep down cares for Ash. I also want to take note of what Ash says while part of this montage is going on. Honestly, it's a really sweet sentiment.
Yeah.
Should have got the video, the sound of it. I should have.
Some rare self-awareness from Ash here.
Yeah, so he says, "Look, Charizard, I may not be the greatest trainer in the world. Sometimes I don't do the smartest things, yes, and I make a lot of mistakes, also yes, but I always try to do my best, and I know I'm getting better. I think we've been together since, but I always try to do my best, and I know I'm getting better, I think. We've been together since you were a Charmander, and then when you evolved into Charmeleon, and all I want to do is be good enough for you so we can battle side by side as a team."
Terrific. How sweet. Eventually, everyone falls asleep except for Ash, who's still rubbing like a cheap massage parlor. The next morning, Charizard is back to full health.
All right, before you go, not Brock walks up to them, and I am going to, you know what? I'm not even tell you what he says. I'm gonna let him tell you what he says.
Guess that rubbing really worked.
Not Brock, the rubbing always works. There's never a point where the rubbing doesn't work. That is, folks, that's the first addition to our permanent soundboard, by the way.
Yes, this one's not leaving.
Charizard
rubbing really worked.
Charizard didn't want to leave either after all the rubbing. It really worked. Team Rocket attacks out of nowhere, which, I mean, they talk about don't get caught with your pants down, but I don't think that's what they meant here. Team Rocket attacks, capturing Pikachu and their super high-tech drill that they use to burrow under the island. With Pikachu acquired, Team Rocket scampers off. Ash gives chase, but they made like a strange decision to have in this part. Ash is only wearing his black t-shirt. He's not wearing his vest that like ties the whole outfit together. So he just kind of looks like a dad on vacation in the 90s with his sneakers, some jeans, and a tucked in black t-shirt. So I don't know why. I think so. When I was young, my dad like tried to make me wear like this was when I was in like middle school. He tried to make me wear like collared shirts and like tuck them into shorts. I don't know why. He I guess he thought like I needed to look nice. And so like I'll tuck in like nice shirts. Like I don't mind tucking in shirts, but like in the day to day, I'm never gonna do a tuck. Like I'm not gonna do the tuck. When I was in high school, I went on a church trip with some friends and we were going to a water park in Atlanta. And we had been doing something in Atlanta, I don't remember, and, like, the last day we were there, we were gonna go to Whitewater, which is the name of the water park, and then we were gonna go home, and so, my buddy's dad, who this was, like, he was, like, one of our Sunday school teachers, whatever, so we all knew him well, and, like, we could clown on him and stuff. He comes down to, like, the continental breakfast at the hotel wearing his bathing suit with a T-shirt tucked into his bathing suit, and I can still see it in my mind. I always thought that was the funniest thing in the world because it's such like a 90s to early 2000s dad move to wear your bathing suit with like your t-shirt tucked into the net of your bathing suit.
When you were talking about that made me remind me. So when my friends and I one summer, I think it was the summer after my freshman year of college, I think because they just graduated high school. They were the year behind me. And so we decided we were going to take a day and go to the not local, I mean, it was like 2.5 hour drive, but go to the amusement park in Iowa. And you know how amusement parks have the thing, guess your weight or guess your age?
What is an amusement park in Iowa? Is it just a dude with a tractor and then he goes over some hills and you don't have seatbelts, so you just like are flying up in the air? Do you have to sign a waiver before you get on in case if and when someone gets hurt?
But yeah, I'm just going to ignore you.
as you should.
So he decided that he wore like a polo shirt and he decided he was going to trick the age guesser thing because we were like 18, 19 at the time. And so he goes to the age guesser. First of all, he has his polo shirt. He tucks it in. So, walking around an amusement park in jeans and a tucked in polo shirt. And then he puts on his sunglasses, walks up to them. He's like 18 years old, and they guessed he was in his early 30s.
So to be an age guesser, does it really take, like, you don't have to train for it, do you? You don't have to get a certificate?
I have no idea. But you know what I'm talking about. A bunch of
For sure.
carnivals have that and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. It's the person they don't like. It's like whoever just pisses off like the head carny the most, they send out that person to be the age guesser. Back in the episode, Charizard takes flight and Ash hops on his back, thankfully not to do more rubbing this time, but they chase Team Rocket through the newly made tunnel that was made with their drill. Charizard catches up to them and holds the drill in its claws. It's about to incinerate the drill, but it can't, or it would melt Pikachu. Instead, at Ash's command, Charizard mega kicks the drill to pieces and Pikachu is saved. Team Rocket's drill has buzzsaws that come out of the sides, causing Charizard to flip and Ash to fall to the ground unconscious. We watch as the camera goes back and forth and back and forth and back and forth faster every time, as we see the gears in Charizard's mind slowly turning as it realizes how much it cares for Ash. Like I said earlier, they're the same person. Charizard is surprisingly good at battling, but otherwise an absolute moron. Just like its trainer. Its two brain cells finally rub together. Still more rubbing going on, Jeff. Those two brain cells rub together. Hit it, Jeff.
Guess that rubbing really worked.
And Charizard is pissed. Ash comes to and scans Charizard with the Pokedex just as it casts Rage. And I would have Jeff play Bomb Track by Rage Against the Machine here, but I don't want the copyright police to come raid our homes. So just imagine it for yourself. Charizard absolutely decimates Team Rocket, and everyone cheers now that Charizard has finally been tamed.
Yeah, and just to go on the movie used, that was actually a translation error because Rage isn't even that strong of a move, because in the Japanese version he used Dragon Rage.
That makes way more sense.
Which is a way cooler move.
Yeah, okay. I think I was probably thinking Dragon Rage when it said Rage, but my two brain cells were not rubbing here, Jeff. The rubbing isn't working. The Boat Douche returns and challenges Ash to a rematch as the theme song kicks in to accompany the battle. With Charizard now in Ash's full control, he is able to win the rematch, which ends with Charizard seismic tossing Poliwrath into the ground. Blood and guts everywhere. No hope for survival.
All right, so I do want to mention this scene because there is a little bit of closure in this scene. So in the Japanese version, where Ash gets Charmander, Damien, his original trainer, says that Charmander couldn't even beat a Poliwag. So now, almost 100 episodes later, and that same Pokemon is able to beat the final stage of it, the Poliwag evolution.
That's an epic callback there.
Yeah, but again, this is only in the Japanese version. The English version doesn't mention Poliwag.
As the episode comes to an end, Ash claims how awesome his life is about to be because he's going to beat everybody. Even though Charizard is way more chill than he's ever been, he's not about to stand for Ash's cockiness and flamethrowers all of Team Ash.
All right, and that's our episode. So what were your thoughts on this episode?
This has been so much better of an episode than the last couple that we've done. I give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this episode, and I think it was getting a little old that Charizard didn't listen to Ash.
Yeah.
And I will also say for once, a montage was actually warranted.
Yeah. Agreed.
I bump it up even a little more. I give it a 9 out of 10.
Okay. All right. There you go.
All right. And so on to our question of the week. Our question this week is, if your personality had a warning label, kind of like Charizard, what would it say?
What would mine say?
Yes.
Pretty but stupid.
Pretty but stupid.
What about yours, Jeff?
I think mine would say gets too excited about things and get ready to have a lot of junk.
Buy more shelves.
Find more shelves. I don't have room for more shelves. That's my problem.
With all the Lego sets and things you have, where are all your shelves gonna go?
All right, so don't forget you can follow us on Twitter at Pokemon Snapshot, or you can send us an email at thepokemonsnapshot@gmail.com. You can also find us on YouTube and TikTok. Just search for the Pokemon Snapshot. We post short clips on both platforms, and if you'd rather watch the full episode, the complete video is available on our YouTube channel. And if you're enjoying the show, leave us a rating on your favorite listening app so other Pokemon fans can discover the podcast. All right, Josh, you have anything else to add?
I don't, but I think Not Brock does.
Guess that rubbing really worked.
Indeed it did.
All right, so please join us next time when we will be watching Pikachu's Rescue Adventure.
We all live in a Pokemon world.